Welcome to Bookish. I'm Sasha.
And I'm Kendall.
And we're just two girls drunk on some bookish tea.
So sit back, pour yourself a cup, and join us in discussing all kinds of bookish gossip.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
We missed you.
We're back.
We're back and better than ever, baby.
After the holiday season.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Belated holidays.
Yeah. How were your
It's
holidays,
been fun.
Kendall?
They were good. They were very busy. I really wanted to have a day where I just did nothing. And that did not happen.
It's unfortunate. I'm sorry.
An immediate family member told me that, like, in discussing that I hadn't achieved that one day of nothingness, she was like, Kendall, you're like a little ant. And I was like, that's such a weird comparison.
Because you're small?
No, because, she was like, but ants, like the worker ants, they're always working. They always are carrying a little leaf or a little dead thing. And then they, like, you know what I mean? And then it comes back, it dumps the nutrients, and then it goes back out, and braves the world, carrying like 10 times its weight.
That's so you. You're braving the world.
No, but I was like an ant.
Well,
I was a little put off, but I think but she's right. She was like, or she also said squirrel. And I was like, that's good. So, like, I'm a spastic. Like,
so you're either an insect or a rodent. There's no in between?
Insect or rodent.
Is it squirrel or rodent? I think so, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I told you this, but there's a squirrel outside of my classroom that I think might have vitiligo. So everyone used to call it an albino squirrel, but then the kid in my class, he was like, no, it's vitiligo. And I'm like, I think he's right.
Smart kid.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. Because, ticks often, sometimes when they carry limes, it can trigger vitiligo.
Yeah.
So, I think that's it, because squirrel's mainly white. Like, it's a white furred squirrel. The tuft of its head is brown, and it's gotten progressively whiter. So.
Interesting.
I just thought that was interesting. I've never seen a white squirrel.
I wouldn't say I have either, so.
Especially in Maryland, so.
Yeah.
Anyways. On to you.
My holidays are good. I graduated college, so that was fun. Starting my new job. It's also fun.
Did you already start?
I did. I started this week. Yeah. New year, new job. So,
Did you start the second?
Yeah, I started the second. So it's going good so far. I'm happy to leave 2024 back there.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say bye-bye.
Yeah.
No yearly recaps for me. Let's just
move on.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's keep it back there. Let's just keep it going. Yeah.
Do you have any big resolutions? Or
Or
are you even, bigger question, are you a believer in the New Year's resolutions, or?
I would say so. I think that I feel like I've fallen into a lot of bad habits in the past, 2 years, as my mental health has gotten progressively worse. And now that I feel like I'm on the up, I'm coming back up a little bit, I think that I'm, trying to change these habits. So I feel like my goals are more, improving my habits and stuff, and, just trying to have a better outlook, I guess, on life. But also, I'm, a goal-driven person, so, if I don't set a goal, I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
And, I think
you're less in survival mode.
Yeah,
more
and I'm more
in I can actually achieve things mode.
More I'm doing things intentionally mode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I would say, I try to do it, throughout the year, I would say. But, yeah. 2025 will be a better year, I think. I hope. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
I think 2024 was messy, but I think I'm starting, I want to go into this year knowing that doesn't matter what year it is. Every year is going to have some shit storms.
Yeah.
Every year is going to have, you know,
Mm-hmm.
its highs. So
yeah,
that's how I'm trying to go into this
Yeah,
year.
I mean, that's a good mindset.
Like, good and bad. I don't know why I try to evaluate my years based on, oh, I had a good year or that was a bad year, because that's just not...
I guess, yeah.
It's not life. And when I say that, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good year, it's so much worse. But I'm like, I don't know if that just has to do with getting older or the universe, but...
Or it's like having too many expectations, maybe.
Maybe.
Like, I feel like that's an easy trap that we fall into sometimes. Like, January, we're like, this is going to be amazing. Like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And, like, you know, everything's going to change because, like, the calendar reset to January. But, exactly. And I think that is, you know, expectations can sometimes be worse for you than just having no expectations at all. But having goals and expectations, I think, are very different.
They are very different.
I think having goals is great. Expectations usually is not the best.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion. It, like, just for me.
No, same. I can't, because I'm, like, a dreamer, so then I get severely let down.
Let down. That's why, yeah.
But I think going in this year with a search for quality and a need to practice acceptance more. Those are my main goals.
That's a great goal.
Yeah. I just want to keep accepting the things I cannot change and then searching for more quality and, like you said, intentional experiences. I also want to craft more. And I want to host
have crafting parties.
No, I told Erica the other day I want to have I really want to host a board game night as my first hosting scenario of 2025.
Yeah.
Where everyone brings a dip. So a dip night and a board game night.
What's better than that?
Because honestly, it's frugal. Everyone brings a dip. And dips are very nutritious.
Yeah. Good dips aren't, though.
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess they can be well balanced. Like, someone could bring a hummus, right?
Someone bring nacho cheese dip.
Fresh guac. Someone could bring queso. Someone could bring buffalo chicken dip, artichoke dip.
This is making me hungry.
Crab dip. Any dip.
I love crab dip.
I know. I shouldn't have mentioned
We're from the East Coast. We love our crabs.
Love crab dip. Yeah, I just want all the dips.
Yeah.
And quality board
Kendall,
games.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Can't wait for that.
We should move on.
Let's time for spilled tea. And if you haven't noticed, it's a little ratchet, but I'm drinking a liquid death today.
I love the hand. Focus on the liquid death, please.
If you can hear it, it's a little ASMR.
Ooh.
It's in a can. These are very sustainable, so I'm gonna read this out, okay? Dead billionaire, tea, lemonade, agave, and vitamins. So I'm gonna be
you got the tea.
Yeah, this is not water.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be this.
Just kidding. It's tea.
I thought it was gonna be the sparkling water.
No, actually, I love these.
Sounds yummy.
I'm a big Arnold Palmer girl, like, and I'm a big, like, bev girl.
Yes.
I always need to have some sort of beverage. And again, bad habits. So this one, it doesn't have much sugar. So anyway, spilled tea just to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
I didn't want to put it in a mug. Okay, sorry.
I think it's cute.
Thanks.
I love a can and a straw moment.
Yeah, I'm a straw girl. So.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah.
Someone told me though that, not that I'm anti-aging or wrinkles, but this woman I don't know who it was telling me that I shouldn't be drinking water. My water bottle shouldn't have a straw because sucking with a straw will create fine lines all around your mouth and give you like mouth wrinkles. And I was like, why do you have to say that?
We were having this conversation the other day. I love straws too.
Did you tell me? Who told me this?
About the straws? No, but we were having a conversation the other day, and one of our friends in a group chat was like, alcohol now is like a super big cause of cancer. And then you were like, you're like, so do you like tattoos and
Taco Bell.
Oh, she said tattoos and Taco Bell, and I was like, honestly, tampons have lead in it. Just let us live. Like, we're gonna die anyways.
You know what? Stop telling me.
Stop. And honestly, like, so does smiling, laughing. That gives you wrinkles too. I'm sorry. Do you want me not to like live my life?
Exactly. Who was
Drink
I?
out of your straw, okay?
Did I talk to you
It'll
about
be
that?
fine.
Did I talk to you about... You know what? This is kind of spilled tea.
Mm-hmm. Spilled tea.
No, Sasha. Your line.
Oh, sorry.
Reset.
Oops, I spilled the tea.
There you go. That did not make a satisfying
Wait, we have to
but
do it
it's
again.
okay.
I'll do it with the top. Ready?
That was better.
That was better.
That was better.
Could you hear that? I don't know.
I'll take that. Well, this is spilled tea because it goes along with this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I discussed it with you. I think I did. I think I discussed it the other night at our bingo night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bingo night.
Bingo night for resolutions.
Mm-hmm. For
That
2025.
TikTok trend got us.
Yeah.
That was
Sorry.
good.
Sorry, not sorry. It was a great bonding moment for all of us.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
But did I talk to you about Pantene? The Pantene thing that's happening
No.
on TikTok?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Getting all these TikToks telling me that, you know, we're boycotting the natural shampoo and going back to our roots by getting Pantene again and getting shampoo with sulfates in it.
No.
And I'm just confused. And I'm like, all the influencers are doing it and they're like, Pantene, Y2K, my hair has never looked better.
Girl, bye.
And I'm just like, okay. I was like, you know what? This is my moment where I'm like, I hate social media right now.
What the fuck?
I hate it.
Literally.
Because I was like, you can't go on for years talking about clean beauty, influencing me, and saying, no sulfates, no parabens. All of them are bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
Get this beautiful green, simple bottle. Look how gorgeous it is. And now you're telling me, go back to the Pantene that I was using as an 8-year-old? You telling me that?
Like the Costco size Pantene.
Yeah.
You know we all use that as
We all used it. We all used it. And or like the Garnier. I was a big Garnier girl. And I was like, stop it. And because I saw so many, it kept coming on my feed. And it made me really upset.
Yeah, that would piss me off. Literally,
because I'm like, I'm being lied to. Someone's lying to me. I don't know who.
Somebody out there is lying.
I don't know who.
Literally, my hair stopped falling out when I stopped using Pantene. Don't use that shit. Don't use it.
Your hair was falling.
My hair was falling out. That shit.
Was it Pantene?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was so bad. Like, I would shed so much. My hair was dry. My hair was nasty. And, you know, like, my hair health probably wasn't the best. Like, I was, like, 16. I wasn't doing hair masks. I wasn't putting leave-in conditioner. I wasn't doing any of that shit.
Do you do hair masks?
Now I do. Like, once a week.
I always want to, but I never do. I
They're-
do leave-in conditioner.
Yeah, leave-in conditioner is great, too. Like, hair masks, I haven't found a good one. Like, right now I use a giant tub from TJ Maxx. That was $6. And it has coconut oil in it. And, like, now I invest in, like, nice quality shampoo that's like clean and shit. That pisses me the fuck off. Stop telling us to use Pantene.
Right, and then they're getting all the influencers, these Pantene sponsorships. Well, even before, they weren't sponsored. They were literally saying, like I saw an Alex Earl TikTok, and she was like, I washed my hair with Pantene, and look at it. Like, it hasn't looked this good in years. Non-spons.
Girl.
Essentially. And I'm seeing all of this. And I'm just
Stupid.
like, this is upsetting.
Capitalism, consumerism, influencers.
Annoying
They're all
me.
lying. Use your own brain and use whatever brands you like. If you use Pantene, I'm sorry. We kind of shit on you, but whatever. It's the social media that we're criticizing.
It's more about everyone being so eager to hop on the new boat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone seeing they're being influenced, so they're going out to buy the Pantene, and then they get on TikTok, they're like, oh my God, Alex Earl was so right. Like, my hair hasn't looked like this in years.
Yeah, before it falls out.
Well, that's the thing. I think maybe if you haven't used a shampoo with sulfates in a long time and then you use it, maybe your hair would look really shiny the first time. Maybe, but if you consistently use it, I have no idea, to be honest, what a sulfate is. So, like, that's why
I don't either.
no, but that's also why I was like, I feel stupid because I literally tried to look up a scholarly article about trying to educate myself.
Yeah.
And I was still confused.
You know what? You're still better than like most of the population because I don't think people research when me included.
It just made me feel dumb.
What kind of shampoo do you use, Kendall? It's sharing
time. Some tea tree oil. I'm forgetting the brand name, but it's tea tree oil based.
Is it in a
not
blue
have
bottle?
Sulfates. It's in a brown bottle.
Oh, then I don't know.
It's tea tree oil based. Also has some eucalyptus in it. It smells like tea tree and eucalyptus.
Lovely.
It's supposedly natural. I don't actually know though, because sometimes I wish I should use the Yucca app on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I thought Yucca was only good for like food.
Well, I think they have an equivalent.
Huh.
I've seen people use it. Again, on TikTok though. See, I just don't know. I just don't know. It's frustrating. But actually, this is a good segue.
This is a great segue
into what we're currently reading.
This is a new segment. New
Yes.
year, new us, new segment.
New segment.
But
But
what are you currently reading, Kendall?
well, the reason I'm still finishing One Dark Window.
Love that book.
I'm almost done. I did not do as much reading as I wanted to, but hopefully, if school is canceled tomorrow, I will be reading tomorrow.
Manifesting that for you.
Because I will not be going outside.
Yeah. Oh, snow days are the perfect days for reading. I'm so excited, even though I'm going to be working. After I'm working, I'm going to be reading. Snuggling up by the window.
Yeah.
So good.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
But I'm finishing that one up. But the reason I said it was a good segue is because I'm reading this book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Persig. And it's Sasha's like, what the hell? Why are you reading that?
No, I'm just like, I didn't expect you to say that.
Well, so my boyfriend Tim really likes the book, and I don't know, it made him think more. It's a philosophy book. So,
okay. So it's not like a maintenance book.
No. It's really not about motorcycles.
Okay.
Motorcycles are kind of the Robert Persig. This book, the 50th anniversary edition's out, so it's very old. But I guess I've really only started reading it, and I'm trying to only read a chapter a day because, it's big ideas. So I should reflect instead of
that's a smart way to do
binge reading it. But it's quite good, and he does ride a motorcycle. And this all started because we actually went to the exhibit at the American History Museum in DC, and we saw his motorcycle, and we were like, this is sick. And then he started reading it, and then I started reading it. But the whole book is basically about a search for meaning and more so like quality and depth as technology progresses. And kind of being, and I mean, he wrote this, I think, more than 50 years ago now. So as technology and like hyper-consumerism continue to increase, right, it's like the web of information we get is really vast. And even the wealth of experience is very vast, but maybe it's not as meaningful, or like you're like doom scrolling, getting a bunch of headlines, but you're not.
Yeah, we're consuming too much information.
Yeah.
Essentially. That's
what I've gotten so far from it.
But
I'm like 3 chapters in.
That sounds very like smarty pants book that makes you think.
It's a good good thinker.
Yeah.
Good thinker.
Good thinker.
Anyway, on to you, Sasha.
Well, mine's gonna sound kind of dumb after that. I'm reading the Ember in the Ashes.
Did you finish
series? I'm on the second book right now. There's 4 books.
Wait, didn't you say you finished? Did I read that wrong?
What?
I saw in the Bookish story you said you finished it.
I did, but the whole series. I don't know what this. Sorry, I'm gonna fix
you
my mic. It's pissing me off.
You did finish the second book though.
I finished. No, I finished the first one. I have like 20 pages left in the second book.
So you were saying that because you're like, I'm basically about to finish this.
Yeah, so I'm like,
within days.
Within days. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if it was confusing, everybody, but that's just so easy to read, and it's like classic YA.
She's a classic YA.
Really,
fantasy.
I like the story. I like
good. That's good.
I like the story. It's just like really just grasps you, and it's just I needed something like this.
Yeah.
To just get me back. There goes your notebook. To just kind of like get me back into like reading on a regular basis, and this is a great series. I love it, and I'm a little late on the train. I know it's a little old.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's been on my list for years, honestly, and I finally picked it up, and I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I like that it's not so like Western based mythology. I thought, yeah, it's more like, yeah, I looked up I might be wrong. I think Saba Tahir, which is the author, I think she's either, is she Native American or she's South Asian? I can't remember now.
I don't want to make a claim that
I don't want to make a claim. And she's one, I don't know. But she has, like, it's not just classic, like, don't get me wrong, I read a lot of, like, Western, like, oriented fantasy books, and it's refreshing.
Didn't I give you
something a little different?
Did I give you 6
Yeah, you gave me
Cranes. I feel like that.
Honestly, I've been wanting to read that.
I mean,
one.
that's East
Asian.
Asia, but still.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to read that. Is that a standalone or is it a series? Do you remember?
I think it's a series now.
Well, for anyone wondering what we're talking about, she gave me a blind date with a book that I opened a year later because I just like didn't want to
touch them.
So pretty. I didn't want to unwrap them, then I finally did. I was like, I need to just. Back to New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
This is also one of my resolutions. Use the stickers. Open the packages. Like, use that expensive perfume. Like, just use it. Stop saving things.
I've seen.
Just like do it, you know, and. That was a great example. I was like, oh my God, why am I just like, I just need to open these books. Like, she's giving me these books and I want to know which one it is.
Yeah.
So that was a big step for me.
Proud of you. I feel that though.
Yeah.
That's real. I'm also on that train.
Mm-hmm.
However, you know, I wrote this on my bingo card the other day. The bingo cards we made, if you haven't seen the trend, it's kind of like your resolutions. Things you can cross off the list. And they can be silly or realistic or...
Ours were a good mix.
Good goals.
Of both.
Yeah, I think so. But I put a pretty, like, big book goal for, like, how many books I wanted to read for the year. And I'm going back on that. Because in my search, like, if I'm really trying to be intentional and really want to absorb things this year and be present, like, why in the hell am I going to put pressure on myself? To, like, I don't want to speed through, like, I always speed through books. I mean, I love that. Like, I love when I speed through a book. But I kind of would like to take my time and really, like, just find some core books that I really love this year instead of feeling this weird need to read as much as possible.
I know. And it's like there's so many good books that I kind of get, like, FOMO.
Yeah,
and there's so much I'm missing out on right now. Like, I could be reading, like, the best series ever. Like, after this one, what am I going to read?
And that's social media.
Yeah,
that's all social media.
That's like that, yeah. Ugh. And I'm trying to steer away from that, too. I reposted on the Bookish story. It was this girl, and the caption was, like, this is how I imagine people who say they read 200 books in the year.
Reading 200
and
books?
She's like driving and reading, and she's cleaning the dishes and reading it, and I'm like, literally, are you guys okay? Like,
yeah, 200.
I'm sorry,
crazy.
What? I hit like 20. I think I hit 21, and that was a lot. That was hard for me. I'm like, are you even like
200's
getting that in? Like, are you even ingesting anything?
But that's
no hate, but like,
that's what I'm saying.
Just confusion.
Because even during 2020. During the pandemic, I read the most I've ever read in my entire life. And I think I got close to 50. Close.
That's pretty good.
But I was reading. I mean, all I did all day was read. I woke up, I read, and then I would eat at some point, right? And then I continued to read.
Yeah.
So I would get through a book in like 2 to 3 days because I was reading for 8-9 hours straight.
Assuming that these are also like bigger books.
Yeah, I mean,
so
they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they were mainly YA fantasy, but still, those can get chunky.
Those can get chunky, and there's like 7 of them sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I don't understand how people do that.
Genuinely, and I'm just like, yeah. So we have intentional reading goals, and we just we need to put less pressure on ourselves and just enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's all about.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly.
This year.
That's what we're manifesting.
I also forgot to mention that I'm also reading Spectacular.
I was with your
novella.
sister when she bought that.
Yeah, And I'm enjoying. I also don't want to read through that one super fast because I love that series and I kind of want to savor any little part of it. I love the. Did you read? Did you read
I never
Caraval?
finished the Caraval series. I don't know why. I know
so
never
many
got around to it.
I know so many people who just DNF'd that.
Not that I remember. I was just like really busy. It was like my freshman year of college, and I remember being like, I can't deal with this. Like, this is too much. Like, it's too much world building. It's too much going on.
Too much to invest
and
in.
I remember I was just like, I can't deal with this. So, and I just kind of just forgot. Like, I don't think I didn't I loved the first one. The second one just, I don't know why. And then I never really had the desire to pick it up. But maybe if we do a Caraval series episode.
Caraval's so good.
Maybe that would entice me to pick it up again.
And then the spin-off series is so good because I love.
Which one's this? Oh, the spin-off is the
Curse
Broken
for
Heart
True
one.
Love. Yeah, Once Upon a Broken Heart.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a spin-off. I thought that was completely separate.
Well, it's same world, the same empire. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the characters that are in the Caraval series are in this book.
Oh.
One of the anti-heroes is a protagonist, love interest in this series.
Oh,
but with
okay, wait, now I
want to
watch
it. So,
or read it, not watch it.
it's really good. I love her books because they're just so easy to read.
Ugh, that's just so
And
nice, yeah.
It doesn't even have to be anything crazy. I'm just like, I'm here for it. It's classic YA fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's just digestible. And it is a perfect segue into the actual topic of this episode because although there are not big dragons in this book, in this world, specifically in the north of this empire, there's little dragons. They're full grown, but they're like these little dragons that do a bunch of things for everyone. Like, they warm people's caramel apples.
That's so cute.
Like, with their little fire.
Oh my God.
Like, warm up apple cider, and they just float around.
That's so cute.
They're just flitting around. They're probably like,
how do I get
I
there?
don't know, like this big. They're just
That's
like,
so cute.
Anyway,
I love that.
the episode's on dragons.
We're talking about dragons today, guys.
Woo.
Oh my God. Wait, I forgot to introduce.
Can't
Oh
get
my
comfy
God,
today.
everybody. I forgot to introduce our really special guest. This is my Christmas present. Say hello to the cereal.
So cute. Sasha and I were debating
Or they have their little tea. Sorry.
is cereal genderless? Whether she is or isn't, or my perception of cereal is that cereal is a woman. I imagine a woman's voice when I hear the cereal.
So like their aura to you is very feminine.
Yeah, like I hear like a scraggly old woman's voice who's like sassy, like a sassy, scraggly old woman, like Meryl Streep as a witch, but with like a little bit of why am I forgetting her name? Oh my God.
Oh, that
This is
actress with
sinful.
the really deep voice.
Sinful. No. Oh, Betty White. Like a sassy Betty White, Meryl Streep combo. And that's how I imagine cereal.
That's a really great description,
I
actually.
can't believe I was forgetting Betty White's name. That's crazy.
Rest in peace, Betty White.
Blasphemy.
I, on the other hand, I kind of imagine the cereal as like the gay best friend.
I feel like a lot of people
Like, it gives off like more masculine, but still like flirtatious and like sassy.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we can agree on. They're very sassy.
Yeah.
I think like factually the cereal is genderless.
Yeah,
So it doesn't really
have a
matter.
gender.
But like when we read it, I think it's interesting our differing
everyone would
thoughts
envision
and visions on him.
a
or her,
voice,
whatever.
right? I mean, because when I read, I genuinely like I hear voices. But like I imagine how the character would sound, and that's just I'm curious. Oh, that was really close to the mic. I'm curious to know what gender you think cereal
Let us know.
But we don't need to identify cereal's gender. I would just like
Or
to
just,
know
like,
what
what-
voice you hear in your head.
Or like what
Yeah.
vibe they gave off for you,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's different for everybody. Anyways, let's talk about dragons.
Yes.
My favorite topic.
I need to recollect my notebook. One
Okay.
second.
We came prepared. So
I feel like such a mess in this podcast. I can't get comfy
in
the chair.
I've moved this mic like 7 times
and
in this recording.
As soon as I get comfortable, my leg starts falling asleep. I don't know. And this little jacket, cardigan, whatever it is, I feel like I'm slipping.
Oh, forgive us, guys. We're a little all over the place today.
It's okay. New year.
New
same
year.
Me.
Not new us. We're the same. Yeah. Messy girls that were here last year.
Yes. Very type B.
Yeah. Where should we begin?
That's a great question. I think we should... Let's just... I'm crazy with this right now.
Kendall, you're too crazy. You're being too crazy.
Okay. You know what? Let's just start spitballing favorite dragons. Go for it.
Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
Is one of my favorite dragons. Mm-hmm. I kind of want, when I like am older and I'm more stable in my life, I want a black cat with giant green eyes, or is it yellow eyes or whatever?
Yeah.
And I want to name him/her Toothless. Aww. Whether it's a girl or boy. And I've told my boyfriend this many times, and he's like egging me on to do it because he adores cats and he loves Toothless. And I have a weird connection with that movie. And I feel like I feel like targeted because like I feel like it's so popular on like TikTok and social media, and I'm like, whoa, like this is mine.
Yeah,
but I'm not gatekeeping, but I am. But I love Toothless.
Up in the theater when the live action comes out.
I'm like,
are you not excited?
I'm excited, but it looks
because the CGI looks just as. It literally looks like the animated Toothless.
Why? What's the point
of doing that? They want to make more money.
Like, why can't we just leave things how they are and not, like, try and mess with them?
They just want to make more money.
I know. Will I go see it? Probably.
Well, they're separate.
But
like, I think
from the
each
trailer, it's, like, word for word. And I'm like, what's the point of even remaking it if you're just going to make the same thing again?
Because they just want to make more money. More kids have been born.
I guess,
so
but like,
they want those kids to watch it.
Not everything has to be live action.
Apparently it does.
Apparently
to make more money.
I guess.
I mean, I'm intrigued. I will always give a live action a try because it's a new director, right? It's a new producer, so they have a different perception of the story.
I hope they add little different things. I don't want it to be like word for word, scene for scene. Like I don't want that, you know?
I want it.
So I'm gonna be optimistic with you and hope
I want
that it's
more
not.
Viking lore and tradition.
Yeah, I want it to be like more historically accurate or be like more like Toothless looks a little scarier, you know? Like he looks a little different from just the cartoon, you know?
But
like
he doesn't.
Something. He looks exactly the same.
No, he literally looks the same.
looks exactly the same.
Just a little more definition.
Yeah, and they're all just like the Disney kind of like, or DreamWorks. I don't know who owns it, but it's just like,
I think it's DreamWorks.
Make it historically accurate or something. Like make the costumes kind of funky. I don't know. This was very personal and deep in my heart, so I have a lot of opinions about
it. A more adult story.
Yeah, or like make it for adults. Like make it like PG-13. I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. But then again, like when I think of live actions and I hate on it a lot, I think of all the good live actions like Cinderella.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
There's so many good live actions.
That is what they should do. But yeah, I think that would be Toothless and I think Abraxos from Throne of Glass.
Oh, of course. Abraxos kind of has Toothless energy in a way.
Kind of.
Well, Toothless is like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very
feline.
Independent.
Yeah.
And
like sassy.
Beats his own drums. Yeah. Sassy will whack you in the face.
Yeah. I love animals with their big personalities.
Yes. And I feel like you don't see a lot of that with dragons in general.
Because they're like big and scary and evil. But like they're just...
But Abraxos was the first nice dragon I was ever introduced to in fantasy. And I think that was... That's a significant core memory and will always be there.
I love Abraxos. Because also it's like... Abraxos is a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
He's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very like...
Very golden retriever energy.
Yeah, very... And kind of like soft and like... Smells the flowers.
And
he's just there, you know. He's like, okay, I'll follow you. But then he's also like...
Yeah, and he's just... It's such a contrast to Manon.
Yeah.
Which
I
makes
love
it
the contrast.
So funny.
Yeah.
But I genuinely... Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who's watching or listening. I don't think before Throne of Glass there was necessarily... In that sector of fantasy a nice wyvern. I think there's friendly dragon stories, but I feel like they were more children's stories, but not in that.
Yeah. Dragons were very vilified, I think, before
That at least in epic fantasy adult. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like in more, technically Throne of Glass is an adult fantasy novel now.
Yeah.
So, in that realm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just talking about the Lord of the Rings dragons, and they're usually like the villain, right?
Oh, yeah, always.
Yeah.
They're big, scary dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, I feel like they would be. But then again, maybe they wouldn't. Because they're probably vastly intelligent.
Yeah.
And loyal. And, you know, if they have the proper motivation. But they're still wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, you can train them. But, well, yeah, if you're riding them, they technically would eventually be domesticated. Correct?
Yeah. I would love to be a dragon rider.
I know.
It's my dream.
Me too.
It sounds so dope. Like,
you know what I always think of, though? I'm like, I mean, you rode horses.
mm-hmm.
I never rode horses, but everyone who I know, I feel like I have a lot of horse girls in my life. And it's like, you know, they talk like the aching thighs. I'm like, how would that feel if you were wrapped around a giant dragon flying through the sky? How much would your bones ache?
Crazy. It would ache like crazy. And that's why I thought...
And then altitude sickness.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, it's definitely not realistic, but...
Well, I think you could if you trained, but you would have to do altitude training maybe.
Like what the really hardcore hikers do when they're like hiking mountains and stuff.
It depends how high you're going. I mean, I think there's a certain degree where... But then again, if you come from generations of dragon riders in a fantasy universe, maybe your lungs evolve.
Yeah. That's a good point. To like sustain that type of... Yeah. I think it was cool, like when I watched House of Dragon. We're both big House of Dragon fans.
Yes.
And they had like the saddle. And like going from Game of Thrones where Daenerys is literally just riding on which was the dragon that she like bonded with the closest, the Drogon, right? Yeah, Drogon. She's like just bareback, just girl. How'd you do that? That's crazy.
How do you hold on?
That's great. Like, how do you hold on? Like, yeah, they have spikes, but like, is it slippery? Like, I don't know. I have clammy hands. I can't hold on.
No, I was about to say like you're going into battle. I would be sweating.
So nervous. But I like how House of Dragon, they have like the little saddles. And I'm sure that would...
saddle.
What if the saddle just broke though? What if it just slid off? The girth just...
Hopefully your dragon would catch you, I guess.
Maybe. I guess the dragon would catch you.
Maybe, though.
Maybe.
Who knows?
If it doesn't like you.
I mean, I just feel like...
you have to be nice to your dragon.
Just feel like they'd be temperamental beings.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, in almost every dragon story, I would say they're not usually... Like, they're beasts, but they have some level of intelligence.
I feel like...
matches.
Yeah. And sometimes they're personified?
Yeah.
Right? Like people. Come across like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they do.
That kind of bothers me. I want them to be like animals. Like, they're not... They're smart. Like, be smart like how...
Well, a dog and cat feel a lot of emotions.
Yeah. So. Like, you can still have a personality, but you don't have to be like modeled after like a human or a person.
No, and you definitely don't have to speak English. That's what I always liked about Game of Thrones universe.
Yeah.
You know, they speak the language of the dragon.
That's so fucking cool.
So cool.
That's so cool.
I think would be maybe more accurate. Maybe because I mean they are huge. Sometimes I'm like, if something that big, wouldn't it? That ancient, wouldn't it maybe develop more advanced cognitive abilities? But then again, brain size has no correlation.
I mean, right? Humans still speak English. Like
language.
Okay.
And we have small brains.
Yeah. Cross that out. I'm embarrassed. We still speak a variation of the same languages that we've been speaking, you know? Mm-hmm. Even though they derive from, like, whatever roots. I'm not a linguist. I don't know. But I love I mean, I'm sure... Well, the thing is, I think because, like, the dragons die out and stuff, like, that's probably why, like, Daenerys uses that old, like, Valyrian... I guess, like, dialect? I don't know.
Because they died out?
Yeah, right? Like...
What do you mean? To preserve it? Or...
Like, maybe that's why it hasn't changed much between, like, the two storylines, like the actual language.
Yeah, well, yes, because dragons died out, so there was less of a need, and it became
kind of like simple, I guess.
Okay, dragons are just simple.
I don't know. No, dragons are smart.
Well, it's hard to say because they don't exist, unfortunately. So
that we know of.
Can't study the dragons.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Because I'm trying to think of birds, right? They'd be like in the bird family.
I thought they'd be like
these dinosaurs are.
I thought they're reptiles. Like a lizard.
I don't know. Well, birds come from dinosaurs,
right?
So like, I don't know.
So dragons come from birds?
No.
What do you
reverse it? I guess like
birds come from dragons.
Reverse it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
I guess. Yeah.
Because okay. Ooh, this is a good. I keep saying good segue. Because if you think of a drake, right, in the dragon family, it is basically just a dinosaur. Really, it has no wings. Just a big reptile, has 4 legs, cool tail, cool horns. Could be a dinosaur, in theory, right?
Yeah, that's basically a dinosaur at that point.
That's basically a dinosaur. Just saying.
Yeah. No, you could have a point.
I don't know. But birds are smart, right? Some birds
are really smart.
Some birds are really smart, and they can mimic language.
They can. So it doesn't. Yeah. You're onto something. You're actually kind of smart. Wait.
I'm onto something. I don't know. In my head, I'm just thinking like smooth brain. I'm like, they could have a big brain, but a smooth brain, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, they definitely understand at least some sort. Like, they can. Oh my God, my favorite. We were just talking about this. The Vermithor scene in the newest season of House of Dragon. Where she's like, she's talking Valyrian, and she's like, "Come, Vermithor, like, be subservient, like, you know."
Yeah.
And this just giant fucking dragon, and he's like, "Okay, chill. I'll listen to you, I guess." Like,
was so mad that Vermithor did not rear his beautiful big head in the finale. So, always gonna be mad about that.
What was the finale again?
Very well.
What was it? I forgot what
Damon,
happened.
you know, allied again with Rhaenyra and pledged his allegiance. So it set it up for the next season, but which isn't coming out until
too long. Probably another 2 years. I mean, I feel like it's every 2 years.
2026,
probably,
right?
Yeah. So sad. I love. Wait, this is so funny. I told my sister this and she thought it was really funny. Again, I'm chronically online for both my job and Bookish. And when House of Dragon was like, this newest season was coming out and stuff, people were talking about Vhagar. And they were like, Meemaw Vhagar. She's so old. And they're just calling her Meemaw. They're like, Meemaw is not doing so great. Or Meemaw just wants to sleep. And I was like, that's just the contrast of like,
no, I just think Vhagar's
fucking dragon.
But I feel like the older the dragon, the sicker they are, and that I feel that is across fantasy realms.
Like sicker, like sick.
Sick.
Okay,
that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree.
I was because it's like flipping out.
Oh,
the oldest dragon, right, in Lord of the Rings is I'm gonna butcher the name.
It's okay.
Glaurung.
Glaurung.
Glaurung. I don't know. But that's the father of all dragons, and it's the biggest dragon of the Lord of the Rings universe dragons.
Is that in the Lord of the Rings books?
I think it's in the
is it in the side ones?
What's it called?
Silmarillion.
Yes.
That sounds
Silmarillion. Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Silmarillion.
Whatever. The one about the background of the Middle Earth.
The backstory of Middle Earth. It's in there. It's in there. But what was my point? Oh, biggest, baddest, father of all dragons. Biggest, baddest, oldest dragon. Don't tell me that thing's dumb. That thing's wise.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think the same. Honestly, Vermithor is probably like, I've seen the fall and rise of empires.
Literally.
So many times.
How old is he?
That I am choosing not to participate. You guys are all going to kill each other anyway.
Yeah.
Why would I get involved?
He's just in his cave. He's like,
that's what I think. Like, probably,
I mean,
like, I'm intelligent. I know what's happening here.
yeah, like, I'll be here if you need me, but, like,
I see where this is going.
yeah.
And
They probably all do. They're probably like, these fucking dumbasses.
yeah, they probably are. They're probably judging
like,
them.
the older ones. I mean, the younger ones are probably like, yeah, I want to fight. I want to fight.
Yeah.
And then the older ones are like, fuck this.
You're like, no.
Yeah. I love a sassy dragon. I love that that's kind of like consistent across like all the stories. They're all kind of like sassy and very like temperamental.
Yeah.
And like
that's why they're more like Toothless, more aligned with cats.
Yeah. I would say they do have more like feline qualities.
Yeah. More graceful.
Yeah. Yeah, very graceful.
And they're loyal but not to a fault. Again, that's the difference though, I guess, within the Sarah J. Maas universe, because a lot of the animals I think have more dog-like qualities.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
I think, are there any dragons in ACOTAR? No, right?
No.
Just
and there's
Throne of
actually
Glass.
no... Should we segue into the
Ooh,
typologies?
yeah, let's talk about that. That's a good segue, actually.
Yeah. Just speaking of the two, because Sarah J. Maas does it right, and she
does
actually defines... Because let's call dragons a... What do you call... Okay.
What are you trying to say? I'm so confused.
Okay. I just don't want to sound dumb. It's fine. You know what? What's the difference between a genus and a species?
Oh my god. Please don't ask me this. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the word. Okay, I guess let's think of categories.
Okay.
Big overarching categories.
Okay.
Dragons. What we know is dragons. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Subcategories.
Mm-hmm.
We got... Okay, from dragons, right? We got actual dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Wyverns.
Yeah. Which are dragons just with 2 legs, and the arms are like their wings.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I said wyverns. Worms.
Worm.
Which are they got 2 little legs, and then... No. Yes. Would we call them just like front leg?
Frontal.
Because are they arms?
I don't remember.
Because you don't say dogs have arms. You say these are their
Yeah,
legs.
I guess
and
legs.
you say hind legs.
Yeah.
So they're front legs. Okay.
Yeah.
Front legs.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just have tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then drakes, which are all leg. You know.
All leg.
All leg.
The drakes with the all leg.
They still all leg. They still have a tail, but you know. So
wait, a worm?
A worm has 2 little arms, and then it's just like.
Okay,
or
in my head, that looks so ridiculous.
Or it could have no arms, I guess.
So just walking around like this? But like,
yeah.
it's just on it's like a snake.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay,
but it still technically has claws.
That, I can't
if we're being scientific.
My imagination can't handle that.
But I think worms, maybe it varies, maybe, because some of them might look more like a massive serpent, right? But it could still be a worm.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of variation probably with what is defined as a worm.
Probably.
The reason we bring this up is because we know you bookish girlies probably know the difference, right? I'm assuming. But I feel like a lot of the times when fantasy books, or just when fantasy stories enter the widespread media sea, they all get grouped in as dragons.
Yeah. So like technically the House of Dragon, like the Game of Thrones universe, Westeros dragons are technically wyverns because they only have back legs and wings, whereas like real dragons have 4 legs and wings.
Yeah,
more like a bird,
which I saw a lot of conversation about. Sorry, within the fandom. But it is interesting. I feel like Sarah J. Maas did it right in Lord of the Rings. The fandom identifies them correctly. I feel like I've seen people refer to Smaug, as a fire drake, but he has wings.
Yeah, that confuses me.
So he would just be a dragon.
Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways. But aren't wyverns kind of... Sorry, wyvern. See, I say... We're talking about
wyvern.
I say wyvern, and it's a little less scary.
I say wyvern.
Like, it sounds like YB.
It does sound like YB.
Wyvern, YB.
Why were you born?
Wyvern is what I'm going to try. That's my other New Year's resolution. Say wyvern instead of whatever I just said.
Wit instead of Y.
Yeah. It
sounds more dominant.
Yeah. They're more, like, evil, aren't they? Or am I just thinking of fourth
What
name?
are?
Why wyverns? Not really, right?
I don't think so. They're all dragons. Probably all equal levels of scary.
Temperamental and scary.
Temperamental.
Yeah.
I think I've heard in different universes certain types of dragons like certain things more.
But they're
might
not
have
ones
better
not, like,
uses.
Yeah. The one's not, like, inherently evil.
No, and I think if there's any perception of that, I just think it's based on how they're told in the book.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I mean, I'm assuming they're all super scary and temperamental and powerful.
Yeah.
I know. I want one of those little ones too from like Stephanie Garber's.
Yeah. Wait, I want to read that book now.
Sit on my shoulder and just...
like a little helper. Did you ever play Webkins?
Yes,
as a child.
I played Webkins.
Did you ever have a Zoomie?
What were the Zoomies again?
They were the little, like a little ball, and they had little fairy wings, and they used to follow your Webkins around on their like by their shoulder, and just be your little companion. That's what I'm imagining these little dragons as.
I loved Webkins. So
I had one Zoomie and one hamster.
I remembered Puffles from Club Penguin, even though I just didn't have.
Was that kind of a similar concept? Like a little fairy on your shoulder?
I would love a little dragon. Ball. Oh my gosh. Zoomies.
I think it's Zoomie.
Webkins?
Yeah. Is that what they were called?
Oh, these little like fairy guys.
Yeah.
I do remember these, yeah.
We'll put a picture for the YouTube people right here.
Yeah, little fairy. I had some of these.
They were so cute. Really cute. I want one of those in like a dragon form. I want like a baby dragon to like hold.
Yeah.
And just like as a fire sign. I feel like I am one with the dragons.
Yes.
And I feel them. I feel them. I low-key also on my bingo board was to get a matching tattoo with your sister. And you
guys want flames.
Yeah,
right?
we always say, well, I think somebody told us this or Erica just thought of it like twin flames. And so I kind of like the arm placement like up here. And I was like, oh, I could get a little flame because like we're twin flames. I'm a fire sign. Yeah. I love dragons. And I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if I got like a dragon on the other arm.
I want a dragon tattoo.
I'm sorry. I can get a flame with Erica and I can get a dragon with you.
Yes, but didn't you and Maya want a dragon tattoo?
I don't think we ever really got around to that. Me and my sister want matching nose rings.
You should.
Which is also on my bingo board.
You should.
I am just gonna stop giving a fuck this year and just live my life. That's all we can ever ask to do, you know?
Once you get to that point and you just do it, then...
Yeah. I feel like I was there and then I kind of like slipped on the rope and I kind of just fell. And now I need to get it back on the rope and get it back up there, you know?
Just do it. I put tattoos on my bingo board and then I drew little dragons around it. But dragon would not be my next tattoo.
I'm just like, I don't know if a dragon... Like the flame I think is like timeless. Like, you know, it's not too like trendy. It's not too flashy. But I don't know about a dragon. Like I'm thinking like, when I get married, when I have kids, I don't know if... Who knows? Like, am I still going to like it? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yes. But I don't know. Maybe that's like too deep.
I feel like I would. I feel like you can't live your life like that. I think you have to kind of just do it.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, as long as it's well done, you think it suits your...
Like your tattoo
think
style?
I will regret my tattoo.
Your tats are sick.
I don't think I will regret them.
Yeah.
And I made this like dragon-like creature, which I guess would just be a worm. Mm-hmm. It would just be a worm in my book, which I named it Cultisoma, and I kind of want one of those on my arm at some point. But then
I'm like, you have to show me. I want to know this now. What it looks like.
I can't. It's it looks like a what is it called? African bush viper.
I have no idea what
they're adorable. They're cute snakes.
Okay.
They're spiky. They kind of look like dragons, but snakes.
Oh.
They're really cute.
Okay. I'll look up.
So later. In my book, they're like giant African bush vipers that I called Cultisoma. Mm-hmm. Don't know where I got that name from, but actually, I think I do. I think it's that they're like scientific name.
Oh. That's kind of cool.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyways.
Wait, I do want to mention this before.
Oh, yeah.
Literally can't open the notebook correctly. No, I just want to mention this before we wrap up, if that's what we're doing. So I wrote here honorable mention. I have to talk about this.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so there's this book called The Last Name Sarah. If you haven't read it and you like dragons, read it.
Who's the author?
Kristen something.
Okay.
Kristen C.
Okay.
Her name's, and her last name starts with a C.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful book. I read it in 2020, I think.
Okay.
Sped through it. It's a very beautiful, it's a new take on dragons. The mythology behind it is very cool. I think it's set in a more Middle Eastern setting, I believe. I don't know if it has a lot of lore linked to it in that sense. But there's this dragon in it called Kozu, and he's like the first dragon. He's like this ancient dragon, cool. And the protagonist, her name's Asha, and she is an Iskari, which is, she's essentially a dragon hunter. And when she was young, she would tell stories about the dragons. She loved dragons. And in this universe, the stories and myths that we tell, I'm saying royal we tell about dragons, give dragons their power and their magic. So this old ancient dragon was like, oh, I'm going to steal this little girl so I can just hear her tell me stories. Like, they genuinely just want to listen. It's like infectious to them. They just want to hear these stories because it makes them probably, you're getting power. Maybe it gives you like dopamine. I don't
That's
know.
cool.
But
that sounds like a really good book. Is it a book or a series?
It's a book.
It's a book.
I believe it's standalone. And when she's like, no, I'm not going with you as a kid, and this is all, I'm not spoiling anything really. He burns her city to the ground and gives her a really cool scar on her arm, and which wasn't cool at the time because he harmed her as a child. But then she pledges to basically kill all dragons, and once almost all the dragons are dead, while she's also she lives in a society, she's like betrothed to this warrior king, and during this time where dragon stories got banned, you couldn't talk about dragons anymore.
Oh, so they wouldn't have the power?
The dragons left. And people who started speaking about the dragons and telling stories started dying, like started having this poisoning effect. And I mean, it's all about oppression really, and telling stories in a civilization, in a kingdom where you have no freedom. The majority of people, the I guess empire was invaded, and everyone who, the original inhabitants of this empire before it was conquered or land became enslaved. So it's all kind of commentary on the power of stories.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. It's about this like badass chick, and she was trying to kill all the dragons, and she does meet Kozu again. And he's just like a really cool dragon. Very feeds into that wise dragon vibe.
That sounds really interesting. I'm gonna put that on my list.
I have it.
You've
I'll give it to
convinced
you.
me.
It's been on my Sasha knows. That shelf with books on it in the kitchen. It's on the top shelf.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably covered in dust. But it's if you haven't read it, and I've said this actually when I saw it, I had not seen many people talk about it. I saw like one Bookstagrammer post about it.
Yeah.
And I read it. I loved it, and I just did not see. I don't know.
Isn't it interesting how that happens? Like some just amazing books, and like nobody talks about it, and like all these like hyped up books, and it's like.
And this was published probably. I don't know when this book was published. Before 2020, it wasn't a new book when I found it.
Yeah.
And it was so incredible, and I've never seen a storyline I don't think I've ever seen a narrative like that where dragons get their power from the mythology surrounding them, which is true, right? Because, like, someone who believes in something wholeheartedly, you have to keep telling the stories to, like, keep the magic alive, right? Anyway, go read it.
Go read it. Let's all have a book club. Let's all read it, and we'll come back and we'll have a little book club.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well,
that's really my last note.
That's all we have for you today, guys. We might do a part 2 about, like, diving into, like, deep dragon lore, like, throughout history and throughout different cultures. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you...
Because it all intersects.
Yeah.
Well. Anyway. Thank you for enduring the awkward positioning. I'm super self-conscious about how I've been maneuvering in this chair.
I'm hunched over, like, I'm like,
yeah.
Tell me more, Kendall.
Tell me more. And I'm just over here, like, it's really uncomfortable.
Can't get comfortable.
But anyway.
We love you. Thank you for sitting down for our little nerd chat.
Yes, of course.
That's what this is. And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.